everybody, my name is Hope and welcome back to my channel. I like musicals, they're a big part of my life, and today we're going to be addressing the Sutton Foster video. Now, I know that the title sounds super clickbaity, and albeit it is a little bit, but we are here to talk about a video circling recently of Sutton Foster in one of her performances. Now, before I get started, I just want to preface this by saying I'm sure that Sutton Foster meant no offence to anybody when she was doing this concert, and I'm sure there was no intentions of causing harm, but people really need to be held accountable for their actions and understand why certain things are wrong. I also want to say that I don't want to overshadow any people of colour and their opinions in this video. I'm just kind of here to give my opinion on it, but obviously as not a person of colour, I find it difficult for my opinion to be important because it's not affecting me directly. So just take that into consideration when watching this video and understand that it's not everyone being affected, and just because you're not directly affected doesn't mean that it's affecting someone else. So this video is from around 5 years ago, and it's from one of Sutton Foster's solo concerts called An Evening with Sutton Foster, and it's basically she sings lots of songs from musicals, and the final song that she sang was And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going from Dreamgirls. Now, there is nothing particularly wrong with singing this video as a non-person of colour. It is at the heart of it just a song and people can sing what they like, but in this context it isn't the best thing to do, because in this context this song would be typically sang by a person of colour, because in the context it is from the musical and not just a song on its own. And basically what she did was, it was her final song of the show and she played it in a comedy way to get laughs from the audience, but while doing that was using the mannerisms of how black people typically sing the song, particularly the actress Jennifer Holliday. Now, Jennifer Holliday is a black actress who played Effie in Dreamgirls on Broadway. I think she played it for the longest amount of time, and her performance of it is done in a very specific way, and a lot of the vocal tones and intonations and mannerisms were very, very similar, if not the same, to Jennifer Holliday. Now, as Sutton Foster is a white person, this is actually offensive, and even if it's not to do with Jennifer Holliday's race, it is at the heart of it just making fun of Jennifer Holliday and the way that she sings it, using the mannerisms and the techniques and the vocal style that Jennifer Holliday uses for laughs. It's just quite rude, and when I watched the video I just felt quite uncomfortable. I couldn't exactly place what was wrong with the video, but the video itself just made me quite uncomfortable. I'll leave a link to the TikTok or a video that you can possibly access if you want to watch it. You can if you want, obviously it's your own judgment to make, but I just say just go in with warning and understand that it might not be offensive to you, but this is offensive to other people. The video was actually initially on her YouTube channel, like her own YouTube channel, where she has a lot of her own stuff released, and it was actually recently taken down for probably obvious reasons of she was getting hate for it. However, the audio for this show, the live recordings from a different performance to this one, are still up on her page. However, she actually disabled the comments for An I Am Telling You recording so that people couldn't comment on it. And in that recording, which you can just find on YouTube if you Google it, it is toned down a lot, but there are certain things that you can hear. And I recently watched Jennifer Holliday and you do hear a lot of similarities there, and I just think it's quite disappointing. I feel like at this point people should probably take accountability for their actions, and obviously by just disabling the comments, like I said in my Disenchanted video, it is just kind of ignoring the fact. Even if she's not in charge of a YouTube channel, she still probably should have checked through her channel to make sure that there was nothing wrong, and just in general making sure that she posts appropriate content. I don't know if really that's the right way to put it, but I think that the most that she could get out of it is just addressing the video and apologising for it, because that would be the most worthwhile thing, especially as she's just kind of ignoring it. And it obviously isn't solely her fault, because obviously people at the time probably should have addressed this problem as well. And the fact that the audience just are laughing at it, obviously they probably wouldn't know the context, but still, she is just making fun of it. And just before she actually sang the song, she said she was going to sing it like a diva, again insinuating things about Jennifer Holliday and the people of colour that sing this song in general. And a lot of people could probably say maybe she just sings it similar to Jennifer Holliday, but that's not the case. There are a lot of ad-libs that Jennifer Holliday does in her performance, which Sutton Foster also does in hers, which aren't normally done in the show, so it is clear that she is specifically mocking her. And there is a difference between recreation and imitation. Recreation is where you would recreate someone's voice or vocal type, but you can see here that she is just making it like a comedy and like a funny thing that she's doing it in this certain way, which shows that she doesn't really appreciate the way that Jennifer Holliday sings it, because Jennifer Holliday sings it very seriously and very wonderfully. She's playing the exact same thing in a comedy style, so it isn't in any way a recreation. I think as well, a lot of people could say, well, people make fun of Patti LuPone's voice or Bernadette Peters' voice and the way that they sing, so why isn't that offensive like this is? If a white person is recreating another white person's voice, then that's okay, because they're of the same race and they are just recreating another person's vocal type rather than the way that they sing due to their race. If it was a black person imitating a white person, like it is here but in role reversal, it would hold the same consequences and it isn't particularly acceptable. Now that I finished kind of talking about that, I'm going to show you some comments from my friend at Angelica Valjean on Instagram, and she basically collated lots of opinions for me on this, so I'm going to put them on the screen now just so you can read how people have responded to this regardless of their race or whatever. I'm also going to leave the people's ats who wrote these messages out of it because I don't want them getting hate for something that is more or less justified. I've also been reading the comments of the YouTube video that I found of the full thing, and I've seen this word come up quite a lot, and that is minstrelsy, and so I think I should just read the definition of that and what that is so that people can understand like the definition of why this is wrong. Minstrelsy was an American form of racist entertainment developed in the early 19th century. Each show and music performances that depicted people specifically of African descent. The shows performed were mostly white people in makeup or blackface for the purpose of playing the role of black people. There were also some African American performances and black only minstrel groups that formed and toured. Minstrel shows lampoon black people as dim-witted, lazy, buffoonish, superstitious and happy-go-lucky. That is a definition from Wikipedia. And obviously you can't trust anything Wikipedia says, and obviously that is a very extreme comparison. However, there are a lot of links there, and this comedic way that it is being portrayed is offensive to people of colour. I'm going to leave some other comments on there from the YouTube video, which is now unlisted on somebody else's channel. And I just want people to understand that I can't say if this is racist or not. It's not my place to, and I'm not going to overspeak over people of colour because it's not my place, because I'm a white person who has privilege. But I just want people to be aware that even if something initially doesn't seem offensive, it can be. And honestly, I don't really know what to say because I feel like I've said what I needed to say and the information that I needed to get across. While some of what I've said probably has been extreme, and I'm sure that Sutton Foster meant absolutely no harm to anybody, we have to understand in our society that things are changing and that offence can be caused from things that you really just meant no harm to. So I think we need to let Sutton address this and go from there. The video itself makes me uncomfortable, and I feel like that's about more as I can say. You know, what do you guys think on this? And I think it's important to get like an over-rounded opinion, but I feel like I shouldn't say any more because I feel like I've definitely already said enough. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, like it, subscribe if you feel like it. Keep enjoying musicals as much as me, and I will see you in the next one.